Welcome to Flair For Flaws. My name is Aliona and you're watching a talk show where we discuss everything but relationships. I am lost in Dubai dating scene. I give up a chance to find the right partner and therefore planning to leave Dubai. It's so hard to trust men in Dubai. These comments and many more similar to these comments are wildly spreading across all social media and among friends gathering. In the majority of such discussions, only female takes part without considering the male opinion. I think it's completely wrong. Therefore, today you have a unique chance not just to know the male's perspective, but also talk to an expert who is a psychologist specialized in cognitive, corporate, forensic psychology and behavioral neuroscience. Please welcome our today's expert, Sam Zak.
Thank you, Aliona, for having me. Yeah.
Good afternoon, Sam. Thank you for joining. It's such a great pleasure, and it's really a unique chance. Previously, I had only female experts. That's why I'm so excited about our today's conversation.
Likewise.
And did I mention all your experience correctly, or would you like to add what you do more?
Yeah, well, for the ethos, that's pretty much it for now. I'm also a judge in the International Court for Dispute Resolution to fix issues between companies and countries when it comes to diplomatic or commercial issues. But my main passion, my main work is psychology, and everything is related to the human mind, really. For the pathos, well, you can, in simple words, I'm a janitor for the mind, keeper for the consciousness. So I help people to have the self-awareness to manage their own life in, I would say, like through a red pill way, means like through reality, not what they just want to hear it. So that's through science and psychology. Yeah.
Well, that's a very dangerous point to reality, because I believe so many people, they don't want to hear the reality.
Yeah. Well,
and therefore, I believe they go online and just try to ask random strangers for their opinion, rather than going to the experts for a really meaningful conversation that can help them.
Exactly.
And therefore, I'm coming across so many questions and comments on the social media, and one I would like to highlight. And why I want to highlight it? Because the lady who asked it, she was clearly stating that she wants to hear the girl's opinion. Whether depending, based on the questions she asked, I truly believe she should be asking men. So let me read it for you, and you comment, please. Hi ladies, what are the signs, green flags that you look at and say that you are with a good man when money is not your first priority? He pays for our outings, but nothing fancy, and I don't mind this. But how to know he's a keeper? What he should be doing in early dating stages? Curious to know your opinion. Well, I believe that women would not reply this question properly, right?
all right, so here, I call them the 4 horsemen.
Okay.
All right, which are the green flags. If you really want to be in a relationship, healthy relationship, 4 elements that you have to focus on, for the man, of course. The emotional intelligence, the communication, the trust, and the self-growth.
Okay.
Now, these are generic terms, people are throwing it here and there.
Exactly.
So let's
something practical.
Exactly. So for the what they call it, the emotional intelligence, let's talk about empathy. Everyone is just throwing empathy here and there, but there is a very thin layer between empathy and sympathy. Empathy is your ability to really put yourself in people's shoes or have their feeling. But there are types of them: the cognitive, the emotional, the passion, the compassion, the somatic, and the spiritual. Now, any of them will be good.
Yeah.
What are the differences? Cognitive empathy is when I really understand where you're coming from, but I don't really feel it, but I understand it.
And this can be during the early dating stage.
Absolutely. All right.
Very
so
clear.
Just through the communication.
Okay.
Emotional empathy, when I relate to something that happened to my life, that I can really feel what you're feeling, really feel it emotionally. The compassion is when I feel it and I understand it and I act upon it. So I actually help you, or I support you effectively. And somatic is the physiological, just like when you really feel the person, like physical needs for them. And the spiritual, when you really feed people or your partner without even talking to them. So that's the first
I see.
part.
So, but there are many points. But in the first dates, for women to understand what behavior should men project in order for the female to understand that he's the keeper.
That's a good question. So for women, they already have the intuition, right?
Well, what we can base just on that. Yeah.
Way better than men. So you can feel like what type of empathy he's having with you. But the behavior itself, you can go through the trust and the communication. For communication, you can check like the body language, the nonverbal cue, and also through the discussion or the conversation that you're going to have with your partner. You have to check whether or not they are independent person or interdependent person or dependable person. A lot of people say like, I want a partner to complete me.
Yes.
I'm actually against that. All right, if you want someone to complete you, that means that you have something lacking. And you cannot guarantee.
Absolutely agree, to be honest, yeah.
So what you should look for is that you should go seek this relationship with absolute interdependency with that partner to add to you, not to complete you, all right? Secondly is the nonverbal cues. You see like how the partner is opening up to you, not just like with you, but with people. Is he shrugging or he's standing straight back, shoulders back? Is he open? Does he have like the eye contact with you or just getting distracted? These kind of things, like you have to pay attention to it, especially at the early stages. So this is a behavior. For the trust, people throw it easily. Just like we have to trust.
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
That's absolutely ridiculous. Like if you say like I want to have a person but who's trustworthy, you can trust the person, but you don't trust the chemicals, the brain chemicals, or the changes that happen to person's life. You have no idea how would they react back. So what we can do from that at the early stages, you have to check the person's boundaries.
Okay.
See how, doesn't really matter how calm and composed you are. Once your boundaries are crossed, emotions will trigger and you're gonna go wacko. So you have to understand the person's boundaries and ask yourself, can I would say, compromise on these boundaries? Can I live with that? Is it dangerous for me or not?
But how are you checking these boundaries? By challenging the other party?
You're not going to challenge the person from the first day. Just like, it's just like, piss off. It's just like, no. There are some techniques for that, just like in communication in general. Just by asking the person like his plans, his visions, his missions, like through discussions, life experience, communication, stories.
That's the basic, yeah. Okay.
The Last Horseman is my favorite. Self-growth. This is gonna be your most focused element when you approach or like when you are starting a relationship. A man without a plan is like a sailor without a destination. And especially here in Dubai, hence your question. If you are with a man who doesn't have a plan, who doesn't know what he wants, or doesn't have a plan for the ups and downs, well, good luck to you if you're gonna pursue that. So this has to be discussed, but in a light way. Yeah. It's not like interrogation.
Not like interviewing.
What's your plan?
Like I have the list of my questions, so let's go through them.
See, like I am approaching this cognitively. Like, listen, tell me your boundaries. No. So this is through communication, but
I agree totally, and thank you so much. That's amazing. So let's dive deeper, and 7 seconds. That's what scientists, experts, and all the statistics are saying, that only 7 seconds we need to get the first impression of the other person.
Yeah.
Is that true?
Well, in relationship?
Yes.
Okay. So the power of first impression, it is powerful, but it's not effective. And no one should seek or like make decisions based on the first impression. And why is that? Once you meet up with a person for the first time, your chemicals or your brain chemicals are active, mainly oxytocin and dopamine. So you're not actually seeing this in a rational way. So whether it was 7 seconds, 5 seconds, 1 second, I tell you what, first impression is good for corporate. When you're working like, I'm gonna give a presentation, only once, and then after a few months, like they're gonna invite you again. It's just like, yeah, this guy, he was good.
Okay.
But in relationship,
it doesn't work like that.
No, I'm gonna meet up with you again tomorrow and the day after. So I want to see you, not who you are projecting.
All right, but still from the neurological perspective,
Yeah.
what's important for the first impression and how to project the good first impression in the relationship?
Do you have to project?
Well,
Or you have to be yourself? That's the question.
I like that.
Yeah. So
not pretending, no nothing, just be yourself.
if you're pretending, well, you're just in interview.
I understand, but also it's true to say that when we're, especially in the early stage of the dating or meeting for the first time, we want to show, let's say, the better version of ourselves, at least a little bit slightly.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I'm saying that, guys, but I'm not doing it. Come on, like when we are meeting up with people, yeah, we have to project our best selves. But I'm telling you what's gonna work if you really wanna work in a relationship. Your main focus is not gonna be on the first impression. It is powerful, but it's not gonna last. How many times people like go in a relationship and it's like you go back home, oh my God, like he's the man of my dream.
Yeah.
A few days later,
Is that anymore?
all right. He was amazing, like he was perfect, he was flawless.
Yeah.
How much effort did he put to be flawless? Is he gonna be flawless at home with you later?
Not always, yes. It's gonna take some time. Yeah. Absolutely. But what I also believe that especially during the Corona time when everything went online, our work and social life, we started to live online in a way. And
Yes.
it's in a way the boom of dating apps and online connections rather than face-to-face meetings and communications. And again, from the psychological and neurological points of view, how it's affecting our dating life when we are meeting online and starting the communication online?
That's a wonderful question. Psychologically, something called decision paralysis. Have you ever been in an open buffet?
Yeah.
And overwhelmed? Yeah, of course. And overwhelmed with the variety of food?
Absolutely. You can never stick to just one plate and say it's enough for me. No. You are like, I want to try this, I want to try this, I want to try that. And you're like, why did I do?
You put everything in the plate, put the plate, then you realize, I'm gonna only eat until I'm full, and that's it. Decision paralysis is the psychological, I would say, phenomena when you are overwhelmed with a variety of options, hence the dating apps. With one finger, swipe right, swipe left.
Exactly.
You make your decisions based on the neurological effect, which is dopamine. So mixing the psychology with neurology, dopamine is the pleasure and the rewarding hormone, neurotransmitter. So basically what you're doing, even if you're 100% like going on that app with the mindset that I'm gonna be consciously clear on who exactly I'm gonna choose, then the chemicals and the emotions will overtake that, will override your system.
But no one knows.
You don't know that consciously.
Exactly,
And
yes.
you just swipe right and left based on your pleasure. So according to Helen Fisher, just like basically on the attraction, the lust. All right. And that's not gonna be healthy, and you're gonna be overwhelmed with that, and you're gonna meet up with the person with all of this dopaminergic activated neurotransmitters.
Yeah.
And I'm not against dating apps, especially here in Dubai, but it should not be considered as the ultimate tool to get the partner. It should be like a phase, a step, all right? But you have to be rational about it. Beware of the irrational, however seductive, no matter how amazing the person is on social media, or on the dating app. You gotta be careful not to be the victim of your own neurons, of your own brain. Richard Bandler said it, founder of NLP. The brain is not designed to get results. It's designed to go in directions. If you don't know how the brain works, well, you're gonna get lost. And who's gonna take control? Your unconscious. It's a problem.
Yes.
Biases, distortions, hormones, chemicals, dissonances.
Absolutely, but it's a hard work on yourself, and not many people decided to go on this pathway, But which leads me to the next question from the dating app. Logically, we're coming to the point of trust, because that's, I think, one of the main issues here with multicultural and multinational society is that it's easy to lose trust because, as we also discussed earlier, people try to pretend much more than they are, and it's
Yes.
quite hard to check, to be honest. And when by coincidence the truth is coming out, you get disappointed. That's one thing. The second one is, once you are on the dating app, it's hard to trust your partner, that he's not anymore there. You know, that he's not using another dating app, and it's so easy, because it's so easy and so many varieties again, as we said in the buffet. So that's where our brain, correct me if I'm wrong, that's where our brain plays the big role. It says that by default I cannot trust on this point, because he met with me on a dating app, so maybe he's gonna do that with someone else and cheat on me. So what in this case? Like, trust and brain, how it's connected and what we can do.
Right, I cannot correct you on that because I don't really know the perspective of women on that matter. But what I can tell you is that there is three things when you meet up with a person, you have to pay attention to: the personality, the character, and the persona. The personality is what you really are. Yeah. So it's your main traits that you were born with. But you're not an expert to psychoanalyze the person, so you can go for the character, which is the easiest way to understand the person, understanding the patterns of his behavior.
Okay.
All right. So how is he dealing and interacting with people and with you? The communication, the linguistic patterns that he's using, the ethics, the morals through his stories and through the conversation. And the last one is the persona, which is the facade, the mask that you put just to blend in the society. Exactly, and that's temporary. Same goes in the corporate life, right? In the hundreds of the interviews that I monitored, not a single time when an employee comes and it's like, I work hard, but I don't collaborate well with people. People come like, I collaborate well with people. I'm a agile person. I'm an empowered person. A few months later, I can't take it anymore. Like, just too much pressure. Same goes in relationship. Habibti, I'll do everything for you. Just like, I'm an adventurous person. You are the center of my universe. Everything that she wants to hear, if he's a manipulative or something. And later on, that vanishes. So when you're talking about the trust, we're talking here about something that you have to feel it intuitively, but also rationally.
Okay.
So neurologically...
What's more, how it should be balanced?
So
intuitively and rationally, what's win?
The automatic feeling is gonna be intuitively, or the emotions. Let me tell you that a very interesting finding from the neurological perspective. The mother's love, I know it's mothers, but it will make sense in a bit. The mother's love to the child is sacred. And why is that? Because of a hormone called the oxytocin, right? So the moment you're like in the womb, the mother is already producing a massive amount of this oxytocin, aka the love hormone. And it gets produced to the child. And during the labor, it gets massively produced again to the child. And afterward, when you actually see the baby and you just like fall in love, you already fall in love before, I see it, while the ejection of the milk, like breastfeeding the kid, the brain sends, or like this oxytocin gets produced by the signals that you have by the erection between the baby and the mother's breast. And it sends the signal to the brain, to hypothalamuses, to the posterior pituitary glands. Then it produces the oxytocin. This oxytocin creates this strong bond. That's why it's very important for the mothers to be with the child at just an early age, between the mother and the child. How is that related to relationship? Exactly. So what happens is that we grow up and we mess up, right? Yet our mothers still love us, right? But they love us with some rationale. So if I want candy, it's like, I love my child, I'm gonna give him candy. So even if I'm gonna hate my mom, she's not gonna give me a candy. She still loves me. So how is that in relationship? Now, the beauty about oxytocin, you don't have to be in the womb of your boyfriend.
There was too long process,
But it happens through the touch. By touching a person, or smiling, or cuddling, or interacting, or even like doing charities, that produces the oxytocin. So in relationship, the more you touch your partner, smiling, hugging, just like doing this beautiful, intimate connection, that produces the oxytocin between both of you.
But I know couples who, actually one of the partners, they don't like touching. So what's in this case?
They should like it.
They should. There is no other option, right?
I mean,
so please like it.
Without touching, that it's like mainly physical, not even physical. I mean, what is the intention? What do you want with that partner? You want to have that partner like in a love, healthy relationship, or
just like a friend,
or just like a friend? Yeah. So that's also like, and people who have like some issues, sexual issues or all of that, we encourage them just like to cuddle more, or touch more. That produces the oxytocin. Even people who have broken your trust, and this trust has been broken in the brain, like the more you touch and you connect and cuddle, even without any sexual interaction, what happens is that the trust will get back neurologically, and then you can rationalize it. But then, do not like, if your partner breaks your trust, do not tolerate it easily. You have to rationalize it, and you have to, I would say, make your boundaries more visible. If your boundaries are not more visible, he's going to do it again and again and again.
Exactly. So, if you understand that just by more cuddles, you will forgive easily.
Exactly.
So that will be like just a method that the person will use over and over again.
Exactly.
That's so true. Thank you so much. That's really amazing answer. And you mentioned at the beginning of your reply that you don't know what's happening in the brain of women. And it's, I think, the story of all the nations and all the times that always men wants to understand what the woman wants, and I think similar goes, maybe I will paraphrase it. So for women, it's important to understand what's happening emotionally with her partner when he's angry, when he's happy, when he's frustrated. So to better get this connection emotionally, because when we live through our emotions, I believe they act differently. So, because for men, they, in the majority of cases, they close themselves. They don't open up and they don't show their full emotions. So, how women can understand what's men going through emotionally to help build the healthier relationship?
That's a good question. So let's start with the brain. So all in the brain.
And you have one.
I have one here.
Yes, let's show it.
So,
yes.
All right. So this is the brain here. So whenever you have an anger or fear, for example, like this part of the brain activates. It's called the amygdala. All right. And whenever you have love with a person, this area is called the ventral tegmental area in the brain. So some studies actually saw, like, when people are in love, this area is super active. So emotions come from here, and this is called the temporal lobe, just like the limbic part of the limbic system of the brain. That happens automatically, and you don't control it. Anyone who tells you I can control the emotions, you're just like, no,
liars.
You can't. So what you can do is managing your emotions by transferring it to feelings. So how to do that? The reaction time. Once you are emotionally active, your partner should see or should know what is your reaction time and how long do you need to cool down. If he argues with you during this time, the argument is gonna go south. It's gonna be really bad. So you have to understand your partner's boundaries and the reaction time. Then give her or give him time to transfer that to here, this new cortex, the prefrontal cortex. This is the feeling. What does it mean? To rationalize his emotion. So you feel angry with me today. I tell you why. Actually, I don't know why. All right, so you try to rationalize that. And when you rationalize, you say, actually, there is no need to be angry.
But sometimes when you're asking the person why, he's getting even more angry.
Yeah, I'm just giving like an example of it. You're not gonna do that, but I mean, you can just like in a very empathetic way through the communication. So you try to explore that with your partner. But you have to understand that while the person is emotionally active, do not interfere. Like the consciousness, it works like 40 bits of information per second. The unconscious and the emotions, 20 to 40 million bits of information per second. That's massive. That's huge. So understand the boundaries, understand the reaction time, try to rationalize things with your partner. Even when they cool down, talk about it later on. See like what happened, how can we prevent that from happening again in the future? And some people like they have anger issues and they say, I can't prevent that.
And you're still talking about men, right? Or it works
and
for
that's
both?
In both. That works for both.
But in reality, from the men's perspective, what's happening when men like who, yes, so doesn't rationalize, don't try, and just like goes with emotions. So what's happening in this case? Because that's where the majority of the problems happening. Like you as a man, frustrated, angry, what your partner should do to calm you, to cool you down, to make you happier. But it doesn't work for everyone, right?
Yeah,
yes.
but you asked my person.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
so my personal opinion. Look, the man's software is different than the woman. The software of man, id, ego, super ego, the id is the struggle. Our software is based on the struggle and our dominance hierarchy in the society out there, all right? And if something is bothering me or makes me angry, it's just something that I have to solve it by myself through my struggle.
Okay.
If I get the emotional support, that's not gonna solve the issue out there. So I cannot calm myself down from inside while the problem is still hanging out there. But again, that's my perspective, so blue pill, red pill.
I wish it would be so easy.
Yeah, but it works for me. I mean,
yes, no, that's amazing. I think that's what women want to know, to be honest. Now I would like to talk actually about spark. Yeah. You know, I think that's a cool topic because also, I don't know, depends on the variety of science and depends on the variety of the methods. I don't know how they calculate it, to be honest. But somebody is saying that it's somewhere between 6 months to 2 years. It can depend. So it's quite 6 months, 2 years, how to understand how the spark get created and how long it's gonna stay. But anyway, let's assume that the initial spark is gone somewhere. What's happening with the brain chemistry at that moment and how we can bring it back?
All right, so I think that's gonna be the most beneficial answer that I will give you guys in a very simple way, mixing the psychology with the neurology and with a practice. So in psychology, we have a triangle, okay? This triangle starts from the top, the intimacy, then the passion, then the compassion, or the commitment. The intimacy is the mutual interest that you have with your partner, the initial spark, okay? Oh yeah, you like that, I like that, okay, let's do it. The passion is the physical connection, the physical attraction that you have, the second. Okay. And the third one is the most important for the long term, if you are serious in a relationship, which is the commitment and responsibility. That's psychology. That's Robert Sternberg. That's the triangular love theory. Now, from that, let's go to neurology here. Yeah. If you were paying attention, earlier I kept saying dopamine, serotonin, oxytocin. Yes. Dopamine is what? The pleasure hormone or neurotransmitter. Pleasure, intimacy, all right, the spark. Second one here is the physical connection, the oxytocin, and the last one is the serotonin, commitment and long-lasting relationship. So here we go, intimacy, passion, compassion, dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin. It's all proven by science. Now, how can we do that? Exactly, restart, recharge the hormones. At the initial stage, of course, this is gonna be like you're gonna be influenced by the dopaminergic production of your brain, and you're gonna have like this wow spark in the beginning, but after a while it's gonna fade away. And even that goes along with the passion as well. Like a lot of people just like, all right, we've been in a relationship for a while now, we're not getting intimately there. Because the dopamine and oxytocin are temporary, think of them natural drugs. All right, the long-lasting one is the serotonin, the commitment that you have with the person. So if you want to have that initial spark again, you'll have to work on those 3 elements at the same time. Every once in a while, let's see, like, what do you like to do? Tell me about your hobbies or adventures. I like to skydive. I like to go fishing. Let's get something that we both like. Okay. Be careful. Don't overdo it because it's, again, addictive. Dopamine is highly addictive. So you do it every once in a while. Now you're satisfying what? The intimacy, all right? That you want to spend more time with that person. But how about physicality? The oxytocin. So again, like by doing activities that elevate positive emotions together, like watching movies, or again cuddling.
Yeah, but what in the case that the partners like different things, and sometimes also one of the, I believe, the mistakes that all of us can do in the beginning, especially of relationship, that we somehow go with the interest of our partner, even though that we don't like it.
Yeah.
So what's happening in this situation?
And that's the problem. That's why we said from the beginning that we have to seek interdependence relationship, not dependence relationship. You may like a person because of the dopamine again, and you're gonna compromise everything and you go with them. But you don't know how dangerous that is later on. That's why I say, like, you have to rationalize it from the beginning. You have to know that the dopamine is taking control. Do not compromise. Me and my wife are just like having that table, like 2 pieces of papers. What activities do you like to do? What activities I like to do? So what are the common activities that we do? If you want to do your activities, I'm not interested, honey, I'm not interested. Just do it with a friend.
So you're saying it straight, yeah.
Do it with a friend, and I would do that with a friend. I like to play chess. She doesn't, all right? So I have a friend to play chess with. But there are some activities that we both like to do. So do not compromise that if you want to have a healthy relationship, not to be codependent, not to be clingy. You're not spending time with me. You're not hear that a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm not interested in your activities, hon. So why is that? Initially, we didn't communicate well on this intimate or these interests that you have. So this is how to keep
dopamine, yes.
the dopamine. And the oxytocin, we said the connection. And the last one is the serotonin. This is very, very important. The commitment, the vision, the mission, the strategy, the goals, the objectives, and most importantly, the action plan that you have with your partner. It's not everything like, yeah, let's go clubbing and having fun here and there. No, what we're gonna do, especially here in Dubai, if case one, if that happens, if this happens, what are our plans for the future? How can we do it together? Are we both in the picture or not? Are we both lining in that picture or not? Building that, it takes time, but once you activate that serotonin or like that commitment with your partner, you have a very healthy, long-lasting relationship, not just a teenaging or someone is just roaming here and
still the spark will be there. So you don't believe in the also very popular phrase that love lives only 3 years. It's not true, right?
There is no scientific
proof
as I'm aware of. No.
And the personal opinion from scientific proof.
3 years.
3 years. How long you're married?
No, for quite a while. And I tell you what, every day is a new day because we're working that. I mean, like while I'm communicating with my wife, I don't say like, let's seek pleasure, let's do activities. It's like, let's get some dopamine. Honey, we have too much dopamine now, let's compromise dopamine, let's focus on serotonin. That's how we talk, and it works.
Yeah, so you talk with the scientific terms.
And it works, because Aliona, like once you get to know that, it's gonna be your lifestyle, because this is, I mean, when you buy a new phone, you spend too much time to understand the software and hardware. Don't you think it's the priority to understand our own software that we were born with first? This is how things are working.
Because we're distracted by so many things around, and that's what the problem is.
Your brain.
We need to start with ourselves. Yes.
It's like working in relationship or having a healthy relationship is not easy. I can give you blue pill.
Yeah.
The things that you want to hear. Everything's gonna be fine. Just look at yourself in the mirror. I don't do that. I tell you how things are working and the data, and you choose for yourself. Conscious awakening. It's not. I'm not saying it's easy, but I'm not saying it's hard. But it is. You gotta work on it. It is challenging.
Of course. Like I truly believe that relationship is not something that just comes to you from the sky and you just enjoy it.
Otherwise, it's just like another day, another night in the nightclub. It's just like, yeah, we had fun tonight.
It's not just about
something
fun.
serious.
Yes.
You need something. Building a brick by brick in your relationship until you build your own house. That takes time, commitment, responsibilities. A man with a vision, a man with a compass. Otherwise, good luck to you. You're just a victim to your dopamine.
And that's beautifully said. Thank you so much. That's so wise. But we discussed so many points from the theoretical part, and I want to add some practical points to our discussion. And I know that something that you are practicing as well is NLP, which stands for Neuro-Linguistic Programming, which in the majority of cases is for the personal growth and personal development. But I truly believe it can be helpful also for the relationship. And can we do something to demonstrate, or a little bit to open the door, so the people can understand as well that this is a method that can help?
Sure. So I have two techniques that we can I'm gonna oversimplify them for now, but they are deeper than this. The first one is called the modeling.
Okay.
Now, in psychology, we have something called the affinity bias, the tendency to liken people who are no different than you. So if you get that concept, and in relationship, when you sync with your partner, like mimic their own, like their body language, smiling, nodding, like.
Yes.
So
yeah.
been doing that with you now since from the beginning.
I figured this out. I figured this out.
Trying to mimic your body language, just to have like this healthy, light connection. So yeah, that can be really, really effective. Try to mirror your partner when you are communicating with them. If they are closed, what you do, there is a trick in here. If they are closed and crossing their arms or something, do the same, then open a conversation, then you change your posture to open, and they will mimic you back. So you try, instead of telling them, uncross your arms, just be open. Or you mimic them first, then subconsciously they will be comfortable with you. Once they sync, actually they were doing that in the Cold War, so it's another story, yeah. So mirror your partner's nonverbal cues, and even the linguistic patterns.
Okay.
Try to use their favorite keywords. Like when you use my keywords that I use excessively, I would feel like, all right, I'm gonna be open to that person. I'm gonna trust that person. He's using my words. So you feel like you're listening to yourself. So this is a trick that really works. The second one that we would have to demonstrate is called the anchoring.
Okay,
now,
so we need to clear some space, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, what is the anchoring? Let me get a small piece of paper here.
Sure.
Okay. So anchoring is like, have you ever been in just sitting and suddenly you feel good or you feel bad because you smell like, let's say, a lemon cake that reminded you of your grandma or just something like that. These are the associations that we have in our minds. The anchoring is to do the same thing but consciously by creating a specific trigger to push or like to elevate a certain emotion or emotional state or a certain behavior. So this is your brain.
Okay.
Okay. This is a small piece of paper now. Let's say that you open that book and you like this page. And you want to leave the anchor here. Okay. All right, yeah, I look at those pictures. I'm going to put here.
Nice, yeah.
I put one piece of paper and I close it.
Yeah.
How can I open it again? It's difficult. Why? Because I only put small piece of paper.
Yes, you're going to see it.
So what I have to do is I have to get another piece of paper and another one and another one and another one, just that. And just like putting all of that here. Now, when I really want to open the book again, it's going to be so easy to open to that page because I have many anchors there. So what I'm going to do with you here is pretty much the same thing.
Okay.
And let me just, So I want you to think of an emotional state that you want to trigger whenever you want, like joy, peace, relaxation, love.
Okay. And I should visualize the
Just
scene or just...
No, just name it, like joy. What do you want to anchor?
Okay, happiness.
Happiness. So you want to anchor happiness. All right.
Yes.
So what you're going to do here is that I would want you to recall a memory at one time when you were really happy. All right?
And I should name it?
No. Just like for yourself.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Yes.
So, all right, the process I'm going to do now, it should take time as what I showed you in the book, but I'm going to just do it for the sake of demonstration for a few times, just to give you a taste of what is that. So now...
That looks scary.
No, just like, because I remember the touch, the chemicals and stuff.
Okay.
So this is your hand here. I'm going to create the anchor on this hand. Just be relaxed.
Should I close my eyes?
Yeah.
Yep.
Just relax. And I want you to get back with your memory to that time when you were really, really happy. And tell me when you're done. Once you're there, let me know.
Yes.
Okay. So I want you to feel what you felt back then, to hear what you heard back then. Start to visualize everything that you were there, when you were there. And I want you to relive that memory. Once you reach the peak of the happiness that happened in that memory, let me know.
Yes.
Enjoy the peak, stay in the peak, stay in the peak. Okay?
Yeah.
All right, and now wake up, open your eyes. It's not hypnosis, but now repeat after me. Silk,
Silk.
silk,
Silk.
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 What does the cow drink?
Milk.
All right. So what we did here is just we broke the state, the emotional state, and then we're gonna repeat the same thing again.
Okay.
Give me your hand.
Yeah.
Remember, this is the second piece of paper in the book.
Yes.
I put there the first layer. Close your eyes, and now I want you to recall the same memory again, but I want you to imagine it like more vividly. Smart. Start to smell what you smell there, visualize. Take your time, no pressure.
Okay. Yeah.
Are you in the peak?
Yeah.
Are you in the peak?
Yes.
Okay. Relax. Stay in the peak. Don't get distracted. And open your eyes. Now repeat after me. Shop.
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 What do you do when you see green light?
Go.
All right, good job. Good job now. Now you got it. Now you got it. Most people say stop. Yeah. All right, so good. Now we broke the emotional state again,
Okay.
just the distraction. We're gonna do it one more time, but you're gonna do it to yourself. So you're gonna close your eyes and you're gonna hold your hand
Okay.
like that, and don't touch your palm until you are in that peak. And once you are in the peak, I need you to press really hard in the
Okay.
palm of your.
Got it. Got it. Yes.
All right. So now what we did is we created 3 layers, one anchor for 3 layers in her book, in her unconscious. So now, by practice, of course, practice makes permanent. Not,
Okay.
Yeah.
So I need to do the same exercise for myself.
Over and over again in
How
different
many times a day?
in different situations until it
Okay.
becomes like automatic, until it becomes like the smell of the lemon cake of your grandma. All right.
So instantly you can like bring this memory.
Automatically activates because it works on like, I don't want to bore you again with limbic system and hype. Okay, so anyway, what will happen is like once you press here is like this memory will elevate because it's already connected or it's associated with that good memory, with that good feeling. Usually brain doesn't remember situations as they are, but it remembers feelings. So you keep practicing that, and whenever you feel like down or not happy or something, you do that. By the way, you can do that by music as well and some linguistics and words. So here, a story I did with my wife. So we have, in Dubai, we're just struggling to have all of these tough things in life. And we've been watching this series, and the opening of that series is Que sera, sera, means like whatever will happen, will happen. The series was dramatic, and it's all based like how you can like work hard, just toward your struggles and stuff. And when we watch the series, we watch the whole thing in one night. So we watch like 10 episodes in one night. And every time we listen to the opening and Que sera, que sera, que sera. You know where I'm getting with that?
Yeah.
It's just already an anchor, happens once, twice, thrice. Then the other day, we were on the road, and some idiot came just like, not driving safely. And we got a bit angry, and then just like, Que sera, sera. And both of us, at the same time, we laughed. And so it actually worked. That's an actual thing happened, and that happened last week. So these anchors can actually happen like without you even realizing it, without doing it consciously. If you want to keep a partner, this is a trick.
Okay.
If you want your partner to be only for you, try to
concentration, full concentration right now. Yes.
try to create these anchors in every aspect of his life. So whenever he goes, wherever he goes, he gets triggered by a memory related to you, related to something good about you, or something good that you did together. So he's having boys' night, he will remember you. All right. So Arnold, he likes to play billiard with the guys. get a small billiard table at home and just build some association to you.
But then so many things you have to bring us home.
That's a joke.
Yeah.
But the point is that try, like, whenever he goes anywhere, he will remember you. Yeah, I used to watch these kind of movies with my wife or my partner. I used to do these activities with my partner. I travel with my partner. Everywhere he will see her. That creates, again, the dopamine link, the oxytocin link, the serotonin link with your partner. And against his will, he will be with you.
And
forever.
still he will be happy about it.
He will, because again, it's all chemicals, right? We're all chemicals in here. So he wouldn't actually have a choice. Yeah, that's really
That's the reality. So man doesn't have a choice, actually.
He wouldn't have a choice, because again, we're controlled by our unconscious and our emotions or hormones all the time.
And that's amazing, Sam. I love the conversation. And NLP, just the last one to conclude, NLP is something that might almost everyone heard at least once in their life. Are there any other deeper techniques that can be used?
Yeah, mainly for like deeper techniques, like for phobia. So you can actually use this anchoring for phobia and stuff. But again, like not related to relationship, as you said earlier.
Okay.
But we can use them. We can redirect these techniques. Basically, NLP are some of the neurological tricks that you use to solve problems. Psychology and neurology dig deeper to the root cause of the problems and identify it, then you tackle it. So most people, they go for NLP and coaching because I have a problem. Don't tell me dopamine and serotonin, man. Yeah.
I know.
Sorry.
So thank you so much. And as you know, of course, we have our favorite giveaway. And from Sam, he actually suggested two options. The first one, if you are going only to have the online session, it will be 30 minutes of conscious investigation, or you have the option of the face-to-face 20 minutes measuring brain frequency session.
Yeah.
And that's where me, and I'm sure our audience will ask the question, what is this?
All right, so usually like how we measure it by a device called the EEG scan, to measure like whenever we are in any state of mind, we're operating on certain frequency. So we have the gamma, the beta, the alpha, the theta, delta. And by having this device or by measuring that, we will see which emotional state or which mental state you are in. So let's say that you're coming to me with anger issues, and I will try to help you out to navigate that or redirect that anger in a calm way. So I will try different techniques with you while I'm measuring your brain frequencies.
Okay.
And if I see that, like what I did with you, the anchoring, so I will put you to relive that anger situation. So I will check like the brain frequency is just gonna be like on a high level, all right? Then I will try different techniques with you, and I will see like which technique will reduce this brain frequency. And based on the monitors, what we monitor and the data, I will tell you this technique is for you by science. Red pill, not
this is by science only.
Yeah, I mean, like,
science.
Not to tell you everything's gonna be all right, hon. No.
Yeah. So only science. So yes, we have two options. So what you need to do is just to comment below the video and ask Sam a very interesting question, and the most fascinating one will win. And to end the conversation, let's end it from the male perspective, right?
Yeah.
How women can make men happy. In short. Just try to make it in short.
All right.
The one main secret, how to make men happy.
Equality of value, not identicality in roles. Do not compare.
Love that. Nothing to add. Thank you so much, and see you next Thursday.